everyone, my name's Miranda, and today I'm here to do a super early, most anticipated releases of 2017. Well, I mean, is it that early? Because really, 2017 is only scarily enough, like 3 months away, so I don't know if this is early, but yeah, I have a lot of books, obviously, that I'm looking forward to in 2017, and I thought I would share them now, just so we can look back once 2017 is in the process of happening and see which books were actually good and which ones I should not have wasted my time on at all. First off, I have some of the more obvious ones out of the way in that I think a lot of people are anticipating them, and the first one doesn't even have a title yet, but people are still freaking the F out for it. And that is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I don't think we can technically call it a trilogy now because they added books to it, so I don't really know. Like, this was gonna be the last book. Like, as I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury, I was like, I can't wait to get to the last book, but now we don't know if this third book is the last one. Basically, one of the best things A Court of Mist and Fury did was totally turn everything you thought that was going to happen in the sequel on its head. Like, it just went in a completely separate direction. Now the third book is going, I guess, back to at least where you expected the second book to take place, at least for me, so I'm very excited. Feyre's gonna kick ass. We're gonna see some more Feyre and Rhysand and just melt like puddles all over again, and I am super excited for this book. I'm hoping it ends on a strong note, even though this may not technically be the last book, so I don't know, I'm a little confused about that, but we shall see. After that, we have Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, which is the second book in the Lady Midnight series, which is technically called The Dark Artifices, but it's the sequel to Lady Midnight, people, and Lady Midnight ended on such a heartbreaking cliffhanger, guys. Like, just tear my heart out and let me give it to you, because it was so heartbreaking, and yet we got to meet so many awesome, fascinating characters, and we started a really cool new prophecy, I guess you could describe it as a prophecy, right? Involved with the Blackthorns and Emma, and I'm just really interested to see where this series is going to go. I'm hoping we're not going to get the specialized Cassandra Clare love triangle that we have in every single one of her other series, because Emma and Julian are such a strong OTP, but there's going to be a lot of hurt and a lot of pain before they can finally get together, and I'm ready for it. I'm saying it now, I am ready to get this next book and read it, because I just can't wait to see where it goes, see if it's good, because Lady Midnight really surprised me in how good it was, and I believe Lord of Shadows is expected to come out around March, like around the time Lady Midnight did, but we shall see, since we don't even have a cover yet for it. And after that, which I think is technically just going to be the first release of 2017 that I'm most anticipating, like the first one to come out, is Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken, which is the sequel to the duology of Passenger, and Passenger was one of the best books I read this year. I absolutely fell in love with it, and the characters, and the storyline, and everything, and I'm super excited to read Wayfarer, because I feel like it's going to have a different feel than Passenger. I feel like Passenger was a lot, like, pressure, kind of, I don't know, like race against the clock, and this is going to be a race against the clock more so, but I feel like now it's trying to get back to the clock as opposed to running away from the clock, if that makes sense. And this book also comes out in January, hence why it is going to be one of the first releases of the month. You see my logic there. Also in January, there are two other books coming out that I'm really looking forward to. One is called Karabell, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, and this is just like, But this is a lot kind of like Night Circus, and I haven't read a book like that in a while. It takes place at like a carnival kind of thing, hence the name Karabell, and it's basically the characters are involved in this kind of deadly game, and the tagline is really cool because it's like, just remember, it's only a game. So I've been very excited to read this book for a while, and I absolutely cannot wait to finally get my hands on it. And then the other book that's coming out in January is Roseblood by A.G. Howard, who also wrote Splintered, which was an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and now with Roseblood, she is taking on a Phantom of the Opera retelling, which I am super excited for. You guys need to look up this cover immediately, because it is gorgeous. Like, it's gonna blow your mind. And I really like the writing of Splintered. I didn't go on with the series because of the love triangle that was happening, and I was like, you know what, I'm good with just pretending it all ended like this. I really did like her writing, so I'm interested to see something that I could potentially actually stick with through the whole series if there's not a love triangle. So fingers crossed for that. Another book I'm super excited to read is Hunted by Megan Spooner. Megan Spooner is one of the co-authors of the These Broken Stars, Their Fractured Light, all that series, and I haven't read anything else by her because I don't think she's actually written anything else, so there you go. But this book is supposed to be a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I have not read a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I absolutely loved or even really enjoyed that much. So I feel like if anyone can convince me and finally get it right, it's going to be Megan Spooner. The cover, again, is gorgeous. I am totally judging it by the cover because it's a beautiful cover, and I'm just really excited to see if I'm finally going to read a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I actually like. So we shall see with that. And speaking of authors that I love, Marie Lu also has another series that she is starting in 2017, and that is Warcross. I don't know too much about it. All I know is the title sounds amazing, and it's Marie Lu, and those two things combined are just like magic to me, so I'm very excited to read it. And I just can't wait to see all of it, all of it. Maggie Stiefvater also supposedly has a YA standalone that she is aiming to come out in 2017. There's nothing for a title or a release date yet, but it's going to be kind of magical, takes place in Colorado, and is about a group of teens. Again, I'm really, really excited to read it, even though we don't know too much about it, and I'm hoping she does get to finish it because she takes a little long on her books, but you know what, that's worth it because they're so magical that they deserve all the time they can get, so we shall see for that one. And then another person who also has one supposedly coming out in 2017 is Marissa Meyer from Cinder. She is writing The Gatlin School for Vigilance, which is a book series she's starting about superheroes and villains that go to superhero school, and it sounds like sky high, and I'm super excited for it. Again, there's not like a confirmation that it's coming out in 2017, so I'm not quite sure about that, but I hope it does because I would really love to read more by her. And of course, we also have Leigh Bardugo, who's writing another book after her Six of Crows series wraps up later this year, and she's going to be writing a Wonder Woman book, which I am super, super pumped for. The Wonder Woman movie comes out next year, so I think that this is going to be like perfect icing on the cake for it, and I mean, if anyone can do a Wonder Woman book justice, it's going to be Leigh Bardugo. So this book's supposed to come out in August, and I am super pumped for it. And there are also some new authors aside from Karabell that I am very excited to read. One of them is Long May She Reign by Rayon Thompson. I'm not quite sure how you say her name. It's basically about this girl who's like 23rd in line for her like to be queen in her family, but then everyone above her is like poisoned and killed, so now she becomes the queen, and she's like never been prepped for it because they were like, she's never gonna be it, she's the 24th in line. And it just sounds really interesting and really mysterious and devious and all that like court stuff going on, and I'm super, super pumped for it. And another kind of fantasy book coming out is Frostblood by Ellie Blake, and this one is really cool. The main character is a flame blood, so she can control fire kind of, but the problem is those have been banned in this little wonderful place she lives in. So she's arrested and taken in, and she now kind of has to navigate the court and navigate to her freedom, and it just sounds like it's going to be a really bamf story of like a girl coming in and owning these powers and being like, F all you douchey kings and queens, and I just can't deal with you, and I'm really, really excited for it. Then there's also a contemporary coming out called Wait For Me by Caroline Leach, and this sounds like it could be really cute or really heartbreaking. It's gonna go two ways. It's about a Scottish girl and this German prisoner of war who comes to work on the farm she lives with her family, and it just sounds like so beautiful. I love star-crossed lovers books, like storylines, romances. They're just so wonderful, but also it could end very heartbreaking. So as much as I'm excited for it, I'm going in cautiously because what if it breaks my heart and I'm just not ready for that. And finally, we also have some amazing sequels and threequels coming out next year. First of all, we have the Trials of Apollo sequel, which is called Dark Prophecy, because as we all know, there is a dark prophecy going on in that world, and I really love Trials of Apollo. I thought it was Rick Riordan at OG Percy Jackson level. Like, it was so wonderful, so amazing. I just loved it. It's one of my favorite Rick Riordan books, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna add to the storyline with all these characters that we have fallen in love with now, and also Nico and Will. So, you know, enough said. And we also have Last of August by Brittney Cavallari, or however you say her name. She's the author of the Sherlock Holmes James Watson retelling, where she made Sherlock Holmes a girl and James Watson was still a boy, so I don't know why I thought that was going somewhere. But it was a really, really strong book. I felt like I had some problems with it, but overall I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to see the sequel because there are questions that we didn't get answered, and I was just like, answer my questions. So I'm so excited that we're finally going to get those questions answered. Like, I cannot wait. Midnight Jewel, the second Glittering Court book, is also coming out next year, and I'm really excited for this one. This one's going to be Mira's story, and if you've heard Rochelle me talk about it, she basically wants to write the same story from each of the three different girls' point of view, and Mira was definitely a very intriguing enigma. Like, you knew she had some cool secrets. My friend kind of figured it out pretty much what the secret is, so that's spoiled for me, but that's fine because I think it's going to be so interesting, and Mira is definitely a BAMF, so I can't wait to see more of her. And lastly, two series that I really love are wrapping up in 2017. The first is Catherine Doyle's Blood for Blood series, series, which will finish with Mafiosa, the third book in this whole series. And Sophie is now out for blood that her mother has died at the hands of her uncle and the whole, I can't remember, the Falcones enemy family. So she has decided to team up with the Falcones and kind of just come into this mafia life. And I don't think it's a smart decision, but you know what? Love makes us crazy, people, and so does people dying in front of us. So I'm sure she's gonna figure it out. I'm just really excited to see how it wraps up and if she gets her happy ending. And then the final book we have is one that I'm really excited for, and it is the Thunder Road, the third and final book in the series. We are finally getting Chevy and Violet's story. We've got hints of their story, the tragedy of it, but now we're finally gonna get their points of view and their love story coming back together, because it's Katie Magari, so you know they're gonna come back together, and I'm really, really, really excited for it. Like, oh, so excited. So that is going to do it for the books. Obviously, there are so many more books I am looking forward to in 2017, and please feel free to leave yours down below, the ones you're most anticipating. Sequels, threequels, contemporaries, new books, debuts, any and all things. Leave them down below. And also make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told when I make all sorts of new videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!